Welcome to the Sydney Eagle Squawk podcast, 6th week. My name is David Barlson, and I am here with my fellow classmates,
Wyatt Reed,
Amelia Williams,
Arkaelin Watson,
and Victor Piedra.
Eagle Squawk would not be possible without the generous donation of Frontier Heating and Cooling here in Sydney, Montana. We would like to express our sincere thanks to Kendra Herbal, Wayne Reed, and Mike Donahue at Frontier. Also, big thanks to Sydney Herald for letting us use the Around Town section of the newspaper. Finally, I hope you all enjoy listening to us as we discuss topics of importance to ourselves and the community, that all these discussions and deliberations are our own and do not reflect the opinions nor policies of the Sydney Public Schools District or Sydney High School administration. Please feel free to contact Eagle Squawk at pspeaking299@gmail.com for any comments or suggestions for topics of future podcasts. Now for the Around Town section, starting with Wyatt.
On Thursday, December 9th, join SYP for the 6th annual Classroom Supply Drive for the first time. This includes Rowell, Brorson, Lambert, Savage, and Fairview schools along with Sydney. Drop-off and networking will be held at Tap House from 6 to 8. Stockman Bank will be having a Christmas open house between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Refreshments will be served. The Sydney Moose Lodge will be serving hot dogs to qualified members and guests from 5:30 to 6:30 and cornhole at 6:30 p.m. for members. Thank you.
Also going on Thursday, December 9th, the Sunrise Women's Clinic will be holding the Light the Way Christmas Gala starting at 5:30. RSVP closed on Friday, but you can still come. And Friday, December 10th, family supper will be served from 5:30 to 6:30 for members and qualified guests at the Moose. Gifts from the Heart can be dropped off at the Masonic Lodge from 12 to 6.
Saturday, December 11th, Allison Cookie Jar will be holding a holiday cookie class from 2 to 4 at the Meadowlark. Moose Lodge will be holding a Christmas dinner at 5:30, so please bring salad or dessert to share. Santa will be arriving at 6:30. 6th annual Santa Fun Run will be held at 10 at Reynolds Market. Proceed benefits the local gifts from the heart. Register at Reynolds Market Facebook and Sydney Run Club Facebook. If you have any questions, contact Libby at Reynolds or Megan at The Rush.
On Sunday, December 12th, the Divorce Care Group meets every Sunday at 4:30 at Pella Lutheran, 406-433-3350. The Moose will be serving breakfast from 8:30 to 11:30 and bingo at 1 o'clock.
Monday, December 13th, the Moose Lodge will be holding cards at 3:30, and members and qualified guests and burgers from 5:30 to 6:30.
On Tuesday, December 14th, senior and disabled Christmas food baskets will be distributed from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Pella Lutheran Church. If you know of anyone in need, call 406-433-7421. Again, that number is 406-433-7421 to be put on the list. Moose Board officers will hold a meeting at 5:30, membership meeting at 6:30.
Wednesday, December 15th, the Moose Lodge will serve vegetable beef soup from 11:30 to 1.
Thursday, December 16th, Liberty Christian School will be holding their Christmas program at 7. Moose Lodge will be serving hot dogs from 5:30 to 6:30 for members and qualified guests, and cornhole following at 6:30. Red Hatter's Christmas lunch will be held at the Country Club at 11:30.
Well, I think that concludes our Around Town section, so we can start moving into our first topic, which is leaving home. And as we have here, we have Wyatt, Amelia, and Mark Kalen, and our cameraman Steven. They're all seniors, and soon I imagine they'll probably be wanting to get out of this town and get a good education. Ain't that right?
I will start us off with that if that's okay. Next year I will be leaving. I will attend University of Jamestown in the fall of next year, excuse me. and I will be majoring in communications and theater, and I'm very excited to go. Personally, I'm not a mama's boy or a dad's boy, so I don't need my parents. I'm really good. I'm a really good cook, so I'm not too worried about the food, and I'm just really excited to go to college and get out of the house.
You're gonna cook squirrel.
You know, maybe it. I don't know. It depends on how many I can shoot on campus, but I don't think that's even
I don't think
allowed.
that's allowed. As for me, I will be leaving within this next upcoming month for beauty school. This is something I've waited for a very long time, and I'm very excited to do. Leaving home is more of a rite of passage for everyone, I believe. It's just like we've waited for it for so long. It's time for us to go. We've hit that point of where our parents were when they were leaving, and it's like, wow, everything does come full circle. Like, did you ever think that we'd make it to this point of being like, this is the last of my senior year?
Not really. Well, I mean, I didn't think I'd be in Montana, at least, because I'm from Texas, and moving place to place for me has always been easy since I'm kind of used to it. I mean, like, moving here was difficult because it's another state, and I'm all the way up here, but, you know, I just got used to it. I made some good friends, and it's going to be the same in college, you know. It's going to be that simple, really.
Do you believe you'll come home after?
Me, I will not be coming back to Sydney as of right now. I don't want to be in Sydney. I like Sydney. I love Sydney, don't get me wrong. I just want to go somewhere else. I want to be on my own without family in the town I'm in to see what it's like, to show me, how do I put it, more of just what it's like to be on your own.
Kind of like living in the real world.
Living in the real world, yes, and doing everything on my own and not having my parents right there on my side. More of a thing.
Exactly, and for me, that like me leaving within this next month is really opened my eyes to like, I'm not going to college, I'm going to a beauty school that is basically opening up a window to like, this is how my life's gonna be starting now. I have nothing kind of like school holding me back. I just getting like segued right into life like that. I just have no time for mistakes. It's just go time now. I'll be in Williston for beauty school, and then I will come back here. And what I'm planning on doing is maybe staying for at least maybe 2 to 3 years here, and then moving somewhere else where I feel like I can excel more. Because I don't want to be here forever. I love Sydney, I love home, but at the same time it's like, I want to go out and do big things.
Yep. Another thing too is Sydney will always be home.
Oh, for sure.
I was born and raised here. Sydney will always be my home.
It's just something about this place.
Are you gonna come back, Mark?
I mean, if my parents stay here, then yes, I might come back, like, to visit, but to, like, live here, probably not. Like, I might go back to Texas or just live somewhere else in another state, probably where I went to college. Or right now, I don't know exactly where I want to live.
Where are you planning on going to school?
Well, I applied for 4 colleges, Montana State, Williston, or is it not? Yeah, it's in Williston. What's it called? North Dakota?
Williston, North Dakota.
Yeah, I'm so dumb. Yeah.
That's okay.
NYU or Oregon. I mean, whatever I get accepted.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Like the University of
University of Oregon.
Like Go Ducks, Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I mean, they have a good digital media program there,
So
that caught my attention.
can I
Amazing.
take some spotlight off us and shine on these 2 gentlemen over here?
Yeah.
These two.
Are you guys excited for next year to leave home?
I don't know. I'm not excited, but I'm not scared.
Are you gonna leave?
I don't think so. At least I'm not gonna leave like my house. And it's actually a thing with like some cultures. I'm not saying like mine, you know, because it just depends on, you know, the person if they want to leave home. And I'm sure maybe their parents will maybe be like, hey, you know, you're 18, and we'd like you to leave.
Yeah.
You already ate enough food here as is. But some cultures would actually prefer it if you like stay, and when you're done with school, just to like I don't know if it's to further or more like support you, but it's I think maybe it's to get you on your feet, or it's just how that culture works. I think in India that's how that works. Like you'll see people who are in their maybe mid-20s, and they'll still be living with their parents, but it's not seen as a shameful thing either, which is interesting, because in here in America, it's a lot more different. Like this, I guess the stigma, you might say, is you turn 18, you're an adult, go to college, and obviously that's not how every family works, but I have seen that, and I guess I would disagree with becoming an adult essentially at 18, because there's a lot more nuance to that.
What about you, David?
I've lived here all my life, and I've scraped the bottom of the barrel that is Sydney, and I want to leave.
You excited to go?
Yes.
I will tell you, senior year is fun. It's been a lot of fun for me. Love it up.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Back to Amelia's first question was, did you ever think you were going to make it here? Yes, I did, but I didn't think it was going to happen that fast. Just yesterday, it felt like I was a little kid in 3rd grade reading Clifford the Big Red Dog, and now I'm a senior in high school about to graduate.
I think like my one key memory that I've like every day it comes back to thinking about like wow I'm a senior is sitting in kindergarten when the senior aides would come in and just looking at them like wow I can't wait until that day. And now that it's here, I see our 3rd graders that we all read to that look at us that same way. And it's like, oh, now I am that senior that I used to look up to. And it's amazing how basically time cycles.
Will you elaborate a little bit on what we do for the 3rd graders?
Usually every day through the week, one of us or two of us will go to Central, our elementary school, and read to a class of 3rd graders for roughly 30 minutes. And the 3rd graders are very sweet. The teachers are great, like Mrs. Dee, Mrs. Byer.
Coriel.
Oh, Mrs. Byer and Mrs. Dee, the same person.
Yeah.
Mrs. Coriel, Mrs. McLaughlin. Is there anyone I'm forgetting?
No, those are 3.
Those are the 3. Mrs. Dee and Mrs. McLaughlin. Duh. They're all great, and they're just... Mrs. McLaughlin was there for all of us, correct? Besides you.
Besides me, yeah.
But she was there, and...
Besides me too.
Sorry. She was there, and she was just like... I bet it just probably pulls on her heartstrings just a tiny bit, knowing that we're leaving, and she just had us, it feels like.
Yeah, it definitely does. Big thanks to those teachers that allow us to do that. Thank you guys. But yeah, that's a little sad to me.
I know.
So, I believe
That's a rough topic to talk about.
we can segue into our next topic.
Another rough topic.
Lockdown procedures at Sydney Public Schools and search and seizure. Would anyone... Well, you want to start us off?
I'll start off, if that's okay, David. If you want to go, you can go.
Oh, go ahead.
I just think, for me personally, I think we should probably handle lockdown procedures a little bit better. It's just my opinion.
In what ways?
And, everybody knows some of these doors in this school do not have locks.
Oh, yeah.
Can be ripped open if you used your strength enough. And some of them don't even close.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, there's several entrances that said shooter could get in. That's how I see it, how I feel it. It makes me sort of feel unsafe.
Now that I think about it, our security here is pretty lackluster.
One question I have is kind of on the school shooter aspect. If that ever were to happen, I would like to practice a lockdown in every single one of my classrooms
Thank
so we
you.
know where to go to instead of doing it in just one classroom. Okay, you go here, but where do you go if you're in the cafeteria for study hall or
I like the library.
or if you're in the wood shop working on something? I mean,
the wood shop has so many rooms.
there's a lot of rooms to go to. I just think that's weird. But I do know that Sydney Public Schools has faded away from doing the hide part. We are supposed to get out if we can, run and fight if we can. So,
And I'm glad that we've kind of hit that point of just like being sitting ducks and knowing like, hey, we have enough power, like manpower, just if there's someone that's gonna like try to hurt us, we can defend our own. We can hold our ground. Stand your ground. Who cares?
yeah. Mark, do you have anything?
Just one thing. So, other schools. So, freshman year, I went to Wills Point, Texas. We had a lockdown procedure, and on announcements, we usually like when it was over, during the drill, we had a code word. I know in Sydney, for some reason, we don't have one, and I was like kind of confused when we first had like our lockdown drill, and I was like, is that actually the code to use? And like, we were just sitting there, even though it was a drill, and confused, you know,
Yep.
or at least I was confused.
I don't think we've ever had a code like pizzas here, you know, to say that we're okay to go out.
I don't even remember. I think the last time I even remember doing a lockdown drill that it was serious was 3rd grade.
Yep.
Sandy Hook. Right after that, we had lockdown drill. That was major, and that did scare great fear in every single one of us. I'm still personally scared whenever we do lockdown drills because it's like I get into that mind state of thinking, "Holy crap, this is real,"
Our third
even though it's
grade,
not.
I think it was 3rd grade or 2nd grade. I was in Mrs. Meldal's class, music class, and somebody had escaped from the prison, and
Third
so
grade.
we
It
went
was 3rd
into
grade.
lockdown, and we were in the corner of the music room at Westside. And all I remember thinking is, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? And everyone was freaking out and crying because it was real.
I was in the gym. But I can remember doing like previous lockdown drills before that and Mrs. Meldal and all her glory just standing up and being like, I hope you guys know if anybody comes in this classroom, I will stab them with the tip of the American flag to protect you.
I remember
Hilarious.
that.
Best thing I've ever heard from a teacher. And
She-
then when the lockdown drill was real, happened, I was in the gym and Mrs. L put us all in the utility closet and armed us with bats, tennis rackets, and I had a pool noodle. I got mad because I was like, why do I have a pool noodle? So I threw it away and then I grabbed like one of those big orange baseball bats that was a plastic and I was like, I'm going to wield this thing like a sword and just go at it if this guy comes in. There's a kid next to me just bawling, just profusely crying. I'm looking at him like, why are you crying? Like, come on, this is war. Let's go. so
Do
funny.
you guys want to add
What?
anything?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I do vaguely remember laughing at someone for crying. I don't think I understood the gravity of the situation back then. But I was just laying on the floor chilling, you know, doing what they told me. Having a good time. While everyone else wasn't.
David, you seem like you're very chill in very serious situations.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
you're like, nothing bothers me. I'm fine.
This guy could get his identity stolen and be like, you can have it. You can have it.
I'm gonna steal their identity.
One other thing I would like to bring to the table is, do you guys know what to do if we are disconnected with our class? Basically, not in our class, we're in the bathroom and a lockdown hits.
You're supposed to stay in the stall and stand on the toilet seat was what I was told, but
So
What you
Now,
do,
with
you-
our
you
new
keep the stall door open.
Run if you can to get out.
Oh, so
Are the kids in the bathroom supposed to try and get out, or no, because they don't know where the person is?
I'd go
So-
for the nearest door and just take off. Like, but if I was in this bathroom, I know Miss McDonald's door is right there. I'd just run, go for it.
Okay.
Kind of scan your situation first. Listen for footsteps.
So during that situation, if I'm in the restroom and I know where the shooter is at, then if he's close, I'm staying. But if he's not, then I'm belting out that door or going to the nearest classroom. But if I'm just in the halls, right, and then a lockdown just happens, and then everyone shuts the door, like, my biggest fear is that I go to the closest room and they won't let me in, you know.
They won't.
Yeah, they won't. They
And that's
won't.
what they're not supposed to let you in. That's
Yeah,
that's the most terrifying thing too.
Yeah,
I feel
you're
that.
out there and then it's terrifying. But
Now, would they close their doors, or would they try and get out too if they knew where that sole person was?
It depends kind of like where you would be located in the school, like if you're close to a door. Because if we were in Mrs. Sweet's class, we'd run. Because we're
Yep.
very close to that door, we could just bolt straight out, gone.
Okay.
Like, where would you guys go? If in said classroom, what would you do?
I'm not quite sure because I don't put a lot of thought into it. I would like to share a quick story. Is that in 6th grade I used to live in Utah, and that middle school was like bigger than this high school and the middle school here combined. There was a lot of people, and it was in 2016. I remember it very vaguely, but I do remember it was during that clown epidemic time. Remember
Oh my
that.
gosh.
And a student, I believe, said that he was gonna do something. I don't know what he was gonna do. I don't think he elaborated, but it was cryptic. You know, something's gonna happen. And I remember, you know, everyone was up in arms. It was pretty. There wasn't a lockdown, but everyone was like kind of like a little bit on edge. And then they like found the person. It was like just a kid, and then they like arrested him the same day. I literally remember like walking to my locker. My friend comes up to me, who I don't speak to anymore, but my friend comes up to me and he goes like, "Hey, did you see in the paper they arrested the kid?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they did it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's it then?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Just so like minorly like
well,
Yeah.
whatever.
And with that lockdown, can we segue into?
Austin Conservatory. I said that weirdly.
David, since you read first, it might as well be fair for you to start us off with this.
Yeah. All right. So, the music speech from the Boston Conservatory was spoken by Carl Polnack. He's the director of the conservatory, and as a welcome address to the newly coming freshmen who are attending. And I'd say it's a pretty emotional speech and informative as well. Like, what would you guys say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. About the speech, it is about the importance of, I guess, music to us, you know, as a people, and it's also about trying to, I guess, persuade in a way parents who may not be super fond of their kids going to like a music school, and it is trying to like help. It's like this is how important music can be, and this is how like important it is maybe for your child. So it is also about that.
I think it's like a very hard-hitting speech that kind of gets you in your feels. And I like knowing that, like, if this was read to me, knowing, like, hey, I matter. My music matters. And, David, that has to be major for how you feel, like, reading this.
Now, a little enlightenment on why we're talking about this. We will be performing this piece this next Tuesday at the Band and Choir concert. David, what time is that at?
At 7 p.m.
And the way we did it is the speech has a ton of paragraphs, and we divvied up the paragraphs in between us, including Steven, who is our cameraman behind the camera, and we will be doing that Tuesday the 14th, I believe.
December, Tuesday. The 14th.
So I'm gonna ask, how well do you think this is gonna go over with the crowd on like a scale from 1 to 10? Do you think they'll just kind of be like, man, this is boring, I just want to hear my kid?
Well,
Or
it's something new. Like this, I don't believe this has ever happened before. I believe this is the first time. I think the parents will be interested, to say the least. Like I think they'll like it. That, and it relates to music, and it's happening at a concert. So, I think some parents will be touched by it too.
how do you think like the people it was originally said to at this freshman class, like initiation thing, feel? Like how do you think they felt?
How was it important to them?
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good speech.
yeah,
I feel it helps them feel not so in their own shell at this new place too, probably. Helps them break out of their shell a little bit and be
Gives
more
them a
friendly.
little comfort, you
I'm
know?
a
Gives
soft,
them- yeah,
I'm
comfort.
a softie, so I know if it was said to me, I'd probably would have broke down and just like cried, just like huge tears.
I mean, the speech gets into like a deeper meaning of music, you know?
Yes.
Like
And it goes across way more bounds than you think.
it helps us move the big, invisible, internal pieces of our lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice quote.
Great quote. Did you quote the speech?
Yes.
Good job. Okay.
Well, I believe we should wrap this up here. It has been a pleasure, as always, to do this podcast for the school. Now,
Once again, we would like to thank Frontier